Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of World of Physics. So in this video series we are going to study about the basic concepts of physics, and now in this session we are going to start with a new chapter, that is magnetism. So before coming on to the detail of magnetism, what kind of magnets are there, what kind of magnetic materials are there, what is susceptibility, what is BH curve, we are going to study first of all the basic terms related to the magnetism. So let's talk about some important terms that are related directly to the magnetism. So the first, while we are talking about this session, the first term that come in mind is the magnet itself. Okay. So what is a magnet? Any object that attracts ion which when freely suspended points towards the pole of the earth is known as a magnet. Means whatever the material is there, it has to compulsory attract ion, and which when freely suspended, means if we tie it with the help of a string and suspend it after giving some deformation or angular rotation, it will directly point towards the magnetic poles of the earth. So such a kind of a material with this kind of property is known as a magnet. What is magnetism? The power by which a magnet attracts the substance is known as a magnetism. Whatever the power it has and the potential for attracting it, okay, that is known as a magnetism. What are magnetic materials then? Then what are the magnetic materials? The substance or a material which are attracted by a magnet are known as a magnetic material. Means iron is kind of a magnetic material. Okay, so magnetic materials are basically of different types we are going to discuss in this video lecture series. Okay, what are the basically 5 types of magnetic materials, 4 or 5 types, whatever are there. So we are going to discuss all of them. Now next comes the magnetic poles. So there are two opposite ends of a magnet are known as the magnetic poles. You all are aware about the north pole and the south pole. Why it is said as north pole? Because it always points towards the north. Okay, and the south pole is always pointing towards the south. Okay. Now next is the magnetic length. The distance between the two poles is known as a magnetic length. Whatever the distance between them is known as a magnetic length. One more important term is the magnetic field. The region in which magnetic pole experience a force is known as a magnetic field. Or it can be said as the region in which the effect of magnet is prevailing is known as a magnetic field. Whatever the area is surrounding the magnet in which the presence of a magnetic field can be felt, means if you drop some iron filling around that, it will directly attracted by the magnet and it will be sticking to the magnet. So whatever the region in which the magnetic field is, effect of magnet is prevailing, it is known as a magnetic field. So one more term is the magnetic flux. The total number of magnetic field lines is known as a magnetic flux. So total number of magnetic field lines per unit area, it is denoted by the symbol phi. As you can see in the figure, there is two poles, north pole and south pole. In between them there is certain area. So whatever the area is there, let us say it by A, and the number of field lines per unit passing through that area is known as a flux, if that area is 1 meter square. Okay, so the magnetic flux is said as the number of field lines per unit area. So as you can see in the figure, there are number of field lines indicated from north to the south. Next terms is the magnetic flux density. So capital B, it is indicated by capital B. So magnetic flux density is defined as a flux passing per unit area within a material through a plane at a right angle to the flux. Okay, so magnetic flux density is the whatever the flux is passing perpendicular to the area. Okay, so its unit is Tesla or Weber upon meter square. So B is equals to phi upon A. Next is the magnetic field intensity or magnetic field strength. So it is indicated by capital H. It is defined as a measure of force experienced by a unit north pole when placed in a given point in a magnetic field. So its unit is N upon Weber, means N is Newton upon Weber. So force per unit magnetic field. H is equals to F by M. Now next is the magnetic moment, mu m. So it is a measure of the strength of the magnet. It is one quantity, physical quantity, which indicates the strength of the magnet. It is a product of strength of one of the pole and the distance between the two poles of the magnet. Its unit is Weber into meter. Means one of the strength, that is m, multiplied by length, magnetic length. The distance between the two poles, that is the magnetic length, L. So mu m is equals to m cross L. The most important term is magnetization. It is defined as a magnetic moment per unit volume of a specimen. So magnetization means, let us consider the volume of V is there. In that the magnetic moment is present. So the magnetic volume per magnetic moment per unit volume is known as a magnetization. Its unit is area upon meter. A by m. Next comes the permeability. The property of a material to allow magnetic flux to be produced through them is known as a permeability. Okay. It is also defined as a ratio of magnetic flux density to the magnetic field intensity. Mu is equals to B by H. The permeability of air is mu 0 is equals to 4 pi 10 raised to minus 7 H by M, where H is Henry upon meter. Okay. Now relative permeability. So when a material is compared with the air, it shows the permeability of a material is how many times there is that of air. Means air is taken as a standard. So whatever the permeability we are measuring comparing with respect to the air is known as a relative permeability. Mu r is equals to mu into mu 0. Mu divided by mu 0. Okay. So B is equals to mu 0 into H, which is equals to mu 0 into mu r into H. According to the definition, we can write down B is equals to mu H. Okay. Now next is magnetic susceptibility, psi, or it is known as a chi. So it is defined as a ratio of intensity of magnetization M to the magnetic field strength H. Psi is equals to M by H. It measures the ease with which the material can be magnetized. It measures the ease with which the material can be magnetized. Okay, so here is some relation between B and H, where B is the magnetic flux density and H is the magnetization force. So now we know that magnetic flux density produced in any material is found to be directly proportional to the magnetization force H. B is proportional to H. So by taking the ratio, B upon H is constant, which is known as a mu, where mu is the magnetic permeability. Absolute permeability we are talking about, mu is equals to absolute permeability. So B is equals to mu 0 into mu r into H in any medium. Okay. So if we are talking about in air, then mu r is equals to 1. So B is equals to mu 0 into H. Now when magnetic material of any cross-sectional area and relative permeability mu r is brought, it develops a magnetic moment. So due to the extra flux line produced inside the material, the additional flux density is given by B is equals to mu 0 into M. So the resultant flux density B is given by B is equals to mu 0 into H plus mu 0 into M. So in all we can say that B is equals to mu 0 into H plus M. Okay. Now next topic is origin of magnetic moment, and based on that we can say types of different magnetic materials. Okay, so there are three contributions to the magnetic moment of the material. They can be originated due to the orbital motion of electrons, due to the spin of the electrons, and due to the spin of nucleus. So the mass of nucleus is very large compared to that of electrons. Nuclear magnetic moment becomes very small and hence it can be neglected. The total magnetic moment of an atom can be obtained by vectorially adding the magnetic moment associated with the various elements. And based on that, in the next video session, we are going to discuss about magnetic materials. So that's it for today, guys. Thanks for watching.